Fortunately, those letters are usually F and U. It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 W.
2 over the Twins. Twins apparently just scored twice because it was 4-0. Twins won last night, but so far the Guardians have taken all those other wins. As they did, they swept them when they were up in Minnesota.
On Saturday, they started that second game. They did that double header, and the second game started around the same time that our shows at Willoughby started, and it ended when I was already, I had gotten home.
Oh, really?
I was
innings?
home in my house, and then the game ended.
15 innings,
15 innings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. And thanks to everybody that came out, by the way.
They won. 5-1 was the final on, after 15 innings, it was 5-1. And then, that second one was 7-6. There you go. So 3-0 yesterday. That's the one the Twins took. It's 4-2 right now. And then the Guardians will head to Chicago to play the White Sox tomorrow night at 7:10. And you'll hear that here on MMS. Saturday went well.
Yeah, Willoughby was great. It was thanks to everybody that came out. And after Mary left, I was hanging out with some customers and one of the comedians, and his son was about to turn 21 at midnight. So we were hanging around.
The comedian's son.
Yeah, so we were hanging out with him so he could have his first drink, like his first legal drink at midnight. And we're out there just talking. The customers, one of them went to Cedar Point with me when we were doing those giveaways and talking about all that. And then there was, garage bars gets pretty busy on a Saturday night. And there's this dude that was just kind of by himself. And he's just kind of wandering around, talking to himself. And then
Was he an older black man? Did he say, I'll be right back?
No. And a bunch of dudes pull up on motorcycles, and he's talking about them, like pointing out the ones that he likes and whatever. And then another dude peels out of there in a Corvette, and he's like, that was pretty cool. And then but nobody's engaging with the guy. And finally, I feel like he's like, okay, I'm going to get going. And he goes and he gets on his motorcycle, and as soon as he tries to take off, he just falls right over.
Oh, no.
What, because he was drunk?
Yeah.
Is he dead?
But, he wasn't visibly drunk. I didn't know the guy, but, he wasn't slurring his words or anything like that. Mary's very good at picking out when people are drunk.
Oh, so good at it.
I don't pick up on it as
I would
much.
assume if a guy's sitting there talking to himself, he's probably a couple deep.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was that far gone. And then
Did he get his leg caught under, or did he do that thing where he just let it go and fall? He stood up and let it fall over.
He fell down. The bike was had trapped him, and the guys that were also on bikes were close to him, so they ran over and helped him real quick and parked his bike. And they're like, "Hey, let's get you inside, get you some."
You have a nice bike?
Yeah, it was real nice.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Yeah,
No one issued him a DWI or DUI?
Well, nobody at the bar was a cop, so.
They didn't have a cop there?
Not that watched him fall over, probably.
Okay.
So he.
If there's a cop in there, it's after his shift. He wants to have a good time. He's not going out to bust a dude who falls over on his motorcycle.
And so that was just one of the most embarrassing things you can do. And I'm glad it happened because he was obviously not okay to drive, and that kept him from getting on the bike and hurting himself or somebody.
So then he walked back in.
Well, he went in and everybody at the bar knew what was going on. So it was like, hey, get him water. Don't serve him anymore. Let's get him a ride home. That kind of thing. So I think he probably just left his bike there overnight. I left shortly after that, so I wasn't in charge of that.
After your friend's kid had his first drink.
He had his first drink.
His quote-unquote
first
drink.
His first legal drink.
I was going to say, why go through all of that? What does it matter if... Is it just that you're happy you're not going to potentially get busted anymore? Is that what it is?
It's a rite of passage. Once you.
Well, it would be a rite of passage if you had never had a drink before.
No, it is a rite of passage.
First legal drink.
You wait.
Well, that's what I mean. So the threat of being underage is
because you
gone.
can go buy it.
I was gonna say bartenders look.
Is that what the big deal is?
Bartenders look at you like dirt underneath their boot when you're not 21 and you're trying to get into a club. They're like, because they're not gonna make any money off of you all night. You're just a pariah. They have to keep an eye out on you because you might be trying to buy drinks illegally or trying to taste someone else's drink. So when you finally have your card and you're like, hey, I'm 21, they're like, all right, fine. and then they'll make you a drink because you order the most ridiculous drinks for your first one. I know I did.
Yeah, he got whiskey.
Yeah, but
With a pickleback.
but you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, but for most people, by the time they turn 21, they've been drinking for 4 or 5 years.
This was more like his dad was there with him, and he was just hanging out.
Yeah, have a public drink with my dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand.
So is that more of that ceremony and his?
Are you really acting like you don't understand why it's a big deal to buy your first legal drink?
He's acting brave.
No, what I'm saying is I didn't understand why it would be a big deal to have a drink, like to make a thing of a drink with your dad just because you turned 21. Like, it's not your first drink.
But that doesn't matter. It's your first legal drink.
Okay,
It's like going and buying a pack of cigarettes for the first time.
Well, my brother did that when he was 15, and nobody carded him.
Right.
And all my siblings still smoke to this day.
But
what I'm saying is, and kids are getting into college bars, they barely glance at your ID. They're like, oh, you're a Chinese man? Okay, have fun. You know, like my daughter has a fake ID.
Right. But the point
Everybody
is
has a
that
fake ID.
It's like catch me if you can. Like, oh, everything's legal. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
No more risk.
So the risk
Please card me,
the
kind of
risk
thing.
of being picked off for being underage is gone.
What do you say to your
Right.
daughter who has a fake ID?
No one's gonna.
What am I
believe
gonna
it.
say to her? She's in college.
Oh,
Like,
I
what
thought
a-
it was Nora. It's like, I passed for 8.
Yeah, that's right. You're not a Chinese man.
Wait, did she openly tell you that, or you found out?
No, she told me.
Wow,
It's college, dude. I get it.
What's
I
she
didn't
gonna
drink.
do? Go take it?
Yes, I didn't drink in
Yes.
college, but what am I going to say? I just want them to be careful and, just keep your head on a swivel, man.
Man,
And no riding motorcycles.
I mean, if I
Don't ride motorcycles when you're drunk.
right, like I would not buy her booze. Like when my son first got his own apartment in college and we were doing like a big shop at Meyer or whatever. He's like, "Hey, let's go down the booze." I go, "I am not buying you booze." Like, I know you're going to get it. I know you're going to go to parties. I'm not stupid. I went to college a long time ago. I didn't drink, but I know what goes on, right? But I'm not going to do it. So it's not like her dorm warming present from me was a handle of Jack or something. It wasn't that, because I ain't down with that. But it's college. So what, I mean, and now you just go on a site and do the thing and you pay in Bitcoin. And, they mail it to you from somewhere.
Man.
When I was in college and going with friends to get their fake IDs, you had to go to like the back room of a guy who ran a legit camera shop. And you went down a back hallway and you had to stand in the full size driver's license because they had to take like a life-size photo of you in the giant square and then shrink it down. And now they just,
Basically McLovin style.
I guess so.
Isn't that how he did it in Superbad?
I saw
I
that
don't
movie
remember.
one time. Yeah, I don't remember either.
I don't think
But,
they showed him actually getting it.
Oh
done.
no, I remember. It was from Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
Freaks and Geeks. They were making fake IDs, and they went to a guy, and he had the big old cutout. and
That's
everything.
right. Yeah, that's what it was. And then they were like, "What state do you want?" As though that matters, like why not Illinois? They go, "Well, that way you can say they could track it here." Or I don't know what it was.
Well,
It's the early '90s.
The
when I was
hack
in
now
college.
for a lot of girls is everybody does their makeup in such a similar fashion that you can just get someone else's ID
That looks like you.
and just be
Resembles
like,
you.
"There it is, that's me."
Like, just get a plug. Like, just get a guy that gets you booze. Girls don't have to work for anything. There's a guy in your
You
dorm.
hear that, women?
Ah,
You don't have to work for
You're right.
anything.
Not for booze. Are you
Come.
kidding me? I used to have to befriend like this straight guy that I didn't even like. I'm like, and then he would go through the drive-through and get me like something ice, like it would be like a Smirnoff Ice or something sugary. I'm like, I'm not gonna get drunk off of this. Like, come on.
Were you part of Bros Icing Bros?
No.
You weren't. By the way, because I was, a lot of people are asking me if I'm concerned that my candor with my daughter's short-lived fish over the weekend are going to put me squarely in the crosshairs of our own Mary Santora, who is,
I'm
of
already on
course,
it. The case was open. Nora called me.
a fish detective. She called you.
Yeah.
She goes, "Hey, I've got a fake ID if you want to make sure that it's me."
She said, "I'd like to report a fish crime."
Yes,
And I said, "Let me get my notepad."
that's what happened.
There's an active investigation.
Active investigation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people ask me, "Aren't you worried?" And I say no, because, again, I have nothing to hide.
You just happen to forget.
And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who flushed the evidence?
Oh, my God.
So you thought you really had to track it down before. Habeas corpus, baby. No body, no crime. It's true for humans, and it's true for fish. And everything along the food chain. This guy's no dummy.
2-time fish homicide.
Oh, no,
Fishicide.
I've flushed more fish than just 2. And by the way,
Believe it.
I've never murdered. Man, maybe these 2 I murdered.
You murdered him.
Unwittingly.
No.
This is fish slaughter.
Purposely.
This
People
is-
are giving me all their tips, and I appreciate that because I don't want to make the same mistake twice. But people are like, you got to keep them in the bag, but then put the bag in the water so they can acclimate to it. I'm like, the hell does that do?
The temperature matters.
Right,
so if
but
you
I-
put them in like cold water.
But the one thing I did do was I measured the temperature of the water before I put them in it because the fish that I got like the water to be a little bit warmer. So I did measure. So I thought I was doing my diligence there. I wasn't going to put them in freezing cold water. It'd just shock their system and kill them right away.
My dad always did that where we had a fish tank and he would sit them in the water in the bag for a while so they acclimated and then like after 6 hours or
That's
something,
what they're
he would
telling me.
let them out.
So I guess I'll do that next time. And I have to. And again, I forgot.
Watch a YouTube tutorial on
I
how
know.
to have a fish.
I forgot that I had that dechlorination stuff in there. But it's
You don't know what you don't know until you know it.
That's right. Thank you, Poundcake. He is,
Welcome.
as always, the voice of wisdom around here.
Fish drill.
So
Wait until I conclude my investigation.
I will wait until you conclude your investigation.
I have friends.
And I will abide by the discovery there.
I have friends at the sewer district. They have a fish filter where all of the flushed fish go. So I
You have
can
friends at the
inspect-
sewer district.
Mhm.
Wow.
So I can inspect the
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote bodies.
Yeah. Well, now why do you say quote unquote? Because they are bodies.
They're not human
Fish do
bodies.
have bodies.
It's the body of a fish. It's different.
But you're a fish detective. You're
Right.
not a human detective.
No.
You flunked out of human detective school.
I didn't even go to human detective.
She said, all right, what animal will you let me investigate their murders? And they said,
Fish.
I don't know, marine life?
Yeah.
You can't get in trouble doing that. Excuse you, Poundcake, says this text. Some of us ladies like to exert our dominance by paying for our own stuff. Harumph.
Yeah.
I like a written humph. I don't think that's the own you think it is, darling. Exert your dominance, but listen, by all means, I think that's great. But I don't know that you're exerting your dominance.
Is that fake
Who are
I-
you dominating? Guys who aren't buying drinks for you?
libs.
Or I'm out here owning the libs. The libs are my neighbors
I pay
who
for
never
my
pay for
drinks.
my drinks. John and Jenny Lib. That's right. None of you should ever own a saltwater aquarium. No, of course not. What am I, Mike Tyson? I don't care. I got a bowl and put water in it, put fish in it.
That's a retired Bill event.
I'm not
When I'm-
trying.
Saltwater aquarium.
When I'm
You
retired,
put a
I
shark
can,
in it.
I'll put
Get
all
an
my time
octopus.
into that, and I would absolutely love that. But it's not anything I'm going to do anytime soon.
We have Brian's daughter, Blake, has a fish. It's a betta fish.
Yeah.
Man, it is, she's 6, so we're trying to explain to her, like, hey, it's time for you to have some responsibilities around the house. And one of the things is cleaning the fish tank. We're like, this is your fish. We didn't want a fish,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
So, and her cleaning the fish tank, quote unquote, is helping me clean the fish tank or helping Brian because she's not doing it all on her own, you know?
Well, and we
But-
do that. That's fine with me. It's like
Yeah.
a little thing we'll do where we'll take the
Yes.
rocks out and we'll
Yes.
clean it and put it's like a little ritual. That's
Yes.
totally fine.
So
And
who's really the beta in this situation?
honestly, I told Brian that. I've cleaned the tank like the last 3 times. I'm like, I didn't want fish.
That fish is your boss. That fish is alpha.
But we told her, and she kind of like puffed about it and didn't want to do anything, didn't want to clean it. And I want to be like, well, then I'll flush the fish down the toilet. But I'm not going to, I'm obviously not going to kill her pet.
No,
but I was
no,
like,
no.
you got to have a little bit of responsibility
That's
for your
right.
pet, you know?
I should have done more diligence. Alan, all you did wrong was every single thing. Right, that's correct. Because I just got back from my gig. I forgotten that I had promised her to do it. So I wasn't going to like stomp my feet, obviously. But I said, okay, let's go out and do this and figure it out. And by the way, when you go to like a giant grocery store, there's no one working there. You know, it used to be you might see a random person in an aisle and you'd say, excuse me, could you tell me where X, Y, and Z is? There's nothing like that anymore. Everybody is either working at customer service or they're working at checkout aisle. There's no one in an aisle. So we walked all the way up to front to customer service and I said, hey, if you wouldn't mind, could you send somebody back to fish? And they looked at me, and they go, "Oh yeah, right. We have a pet section or whatever."
They gotta be the
and
last
then
ones
we
doing
went
fish still.
And then we went all the way. They might be.
Because nobody, like Walmart's not doing fish anymore. I don't think Target ever did. If they did, it's been years.
Mark's did birds.
Mark's did birds for a while. I think Mark's might have done
Birds,
fish
Jesus.
for a minute.
Birds. I like that.
They
That's
had
how they wanted.
birds,
That's I
dude.
like that. Those are what they. Those are the boxes they ticked to set themselves apart. They're
Yeah.
like cash only.
Discover
and,
card and
yes,
birds.
and birds is how we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna
Well,
set
in
ourselves
his little
apart.
caricature, he has a bird on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I think he's just into birds.
Yeah, so is Jimmy Buffett. He didn't walk around with a parrot on his shoulder. I mean, so, maybe that's an affectation or something.
Actually, before our show in Willoughby, we went to dinner. My boyfriend's birthday is next Monday, the 26th, but we celebrated with his family on Saturday because they live on the east side, so we were already going to be out that way anyway. So we went to dinner at this place downtown Willoughby.
Good for you.
There's a dude, like an old man, walking around with a cape and a parrot, just walking around downtown Willoughby. And
Was
he
it
had
Frank Costanza's lawyer?
No, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that reference, so it could have been.
It's a great reference.
But he had like an older woman with
That's a
him
good
who I
reference.
assumed to be his wife. And they were just walking around like letting people pet their parrot and like taking pictures with people. And he had like this big, long, colorful cape to like match the bird's feathers. It was one of the wildest things.
That's great.
Parrot
I'm like,
guy.
good for this
Because you're
guy.
older, you're bored. You're
Yeah.
like, honey, here's what we're gonna do in our golden years. What? I don't want you puttering around the house after you retire. What do you got to find something to do? How about if I walk around downtown wearing a cape and a parrot? She goes,
I'll take
Yeah,
the pictures.
okay.
It was awesome. And I'm like, man, what a life. That's just what you do.
Alan, if that that chick wants to exert her dominance, she could start by buying my drinks.
You know what she should do to exert her
Oh,
dominance? Buy a bunch of dudes tickets to Lorraine Palace this
Oh, boy,
Saturday.
here- And so it
Yeah.
begins. And so it begins. Let the shoehorning commence.
After Saturday, though, it should calm down.
Oh, after the show? Oh, cool. Good.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying after this week.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
don't got a lot of stuff to plug for a while.
All right.
We did our little September tour of 2 places.
Yeah, Willoughby and
We tried
Lorraine.
to do 3, but somebody had to record a special in the 3rd place. So
Hey, Eric. Sorry, Eric.
That's me.
Yes, go ahead.
It's all yours, Eric.
Hey, Mary.
What's
Oh,
going on?
what up?
So, hey, Mary, I believe you stuck your boyfriend with the cat. So he didn't want the cat. You didn't want to clean the fish tank.
Yeah, but he doesn't take care of the cat. He doesn't do anything for her unless I'm out of town. I do everything for the cat.
Didn't you guys have a issue with the cat there a couple months ago at his house?
Well, yeah, when we first moved in, it took her a minute to acclimate and she was puking and stuff, but he didn't do anything with it. I cleaned everything up. I clean her box every day. I feed her. I fill her water. Like, he doesn't do anything with the cat.
Be a good other mommy and clean that fish
I was
tank.
gonna say,
do
what-
fish the tank. I do fish the
What's
tank.
the point Eric's trying to make?
I don't know what the point he's trying to make is.
Oh, all right. I think he's trying to do a
Pushing that responsibility, yeah.
quid pro quo or something.
doing
Okay,
it.
thank you, Eric. I appreciate the call.
I do clean it with her.
You just said you did.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I don't know what point he's trying to make. You explained how you clean the tank with her.
Well, and I'm trying to, I was like, I feel like she should have chores, like little stuff, like making the bed or unloading the dishwasher or cleaning the
Or
fish tank.
tilling the
like,
backyard.
tilling the backyard.
You should get
Aerating
rid of
it.
those mushrooms.
Churning the butter. Like, those are things that 6-year-olds can do.
Yeah.
But-
you have all those weeds that you pulled that grew right back.
Yeah,
Make her
have her
pull
go
those
pull
every
those.
day. She's got a lot of energy.
Well, she got into Pokemon cards, so she keeps wanting more Pokemon cards. And we're at the mall Sunday. And I'm like, listen, if you do your chores, you get money. So,
Yes.
like, if you unload the dishwasher, that's $5, and you can buy 3 packs of Pokemon
Hey,
cards.
I'll
Like,
unload the dishwasher.
for $5.
And the first thing you'll learn when you start making your own money is how little you want to spend of it.
Right.
Oh, I got to spend. Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
told
what it's
Brian
for.
that. I was like, we can even do a tier system. The easy stuff like dusting with the little Swiffer duster, $1. Cleaning the fish tank, $10. Like, it can be a sliding scale.
Changing my oil, $20.
Yes.
Why would you have her do that when you could go to Terry's North
Can't
Coast
stand
Auto?
her today. One of the plugs is my benefit, and I
I
can't
was going to
stand
say,
it.
I can't. I got to take a break.
It's a layup, though.
If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. You can listen there and watch. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.